'Cause I Hello, hello. Hi, Kiv. Hi, Kotsuki. Stellar. Hello. How's everybody doing? The day has finally come. Part 2 of book 1. It feels like it's been years. So excited. Okay, so for book club and for Elden Ring. Elden Ring's later. Book club is now. But yes, as Nightbot just said, today we're chatting about part 2 of book 1 for Dungen Crawler Carl, and that is going to be chapters 29 through 46. I think the chapter count varies depending on if you do the audiobook or have a physical copy, but to the end, basically. I'm going to go ahead and open it up so that anybody else that is participating in book club, if you would like, please go ahead and jump into any of the general voice channels in Discord, and I will go ahead and pull you into stream. The other thing I wanted to check is that this overlay should be showing chat, but I might need to kickstart something really quick. So let me check that, because it was working earlier, but I wanted to try and capture chat this time in the recording because we didn't have that last time and that was a little goofy. So I'm gonna go to integrations. Server is on. Oh, it's like off. I see. But is it grabbing your guys' chat or is it just grabbing my chat? Let me fix that. It would be great if I knew where to look. Overlay, chat. This is what I want. Somebody do me a favor and type something in the chat for me so I can see if this is working. Sir, you just had treats. Yay, it's working. Okay, perfect. All right, so we are capturing chat. I also have this overlay for anybody in voice. Oh, perfect. I see you guys. I see you. So now we can see who's actually talking for the recording. Hi, Stellar. Hi, Kotsuki.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys.
All right, let me see.
Did it go through? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
am
Awesome.
playing around with the size of the little Discord avatars. Because that was like a separate thing I had to download. Grayson, sir, we are trying to talk about books right now. You just want treats? Is that what you want? All right, so Kiv, I know, said was going to be listening along, but not able to join in voice today. Here you go, guys. Have some snacks. Avron is having some weather in her area, so I'm not sure if she's going to join us. And I don't know who else is currently participating and reading along with us. I think there might be a few folks that have already read the series that are kind of just lurking, and then I have some friends reading along as well, but they have not joined the Discord. They're not Twitch folks, so they're just gonna have to play catch up. That's why I'm gonna put this on YouTube so you can watch it later. Now, let me see if I can fix the chat overlay really quick, and then we can get started. Question is, where did I put that? Discord voice. Yes. What was that? Stream kit. That's what it was. Of course, I closed that window, not realizing I needed to adjust it. All right, so I already have this installed voice widget. So I'm going to come over here to, let's see, text size, and I think we're just going to bump that down a little bit. And then if I update it, it should be okay. There we go. They're smaller, but they're not. Yeah, maybe there's a happy medium. Because they were huge to begin with. Okay. Kotsuki, you got like way ahead in the series, right? Didn't you keep going? I think you're muted.
Your mic is muted in chat.
Oh,
Ollie.
well, that would,
All right.
yeah, got it. Let me fix that.
Yeah. I'm almost done with book 5, but I will not give any spoilers.
Goodness. Book 5, so far ahead. Okay, I was smart this time. Okay, perfect. That looks like a good size for all the names and everything. So Moxie, I thought was going to join as well. I don't know if she's joining us here on Twitch, but I think she's been possibly also reading along. I know that she is in the Discord, but I don't see her in voice or anything like that. I don't know if she's online right now. So, that's why we're recording this, so she can catch up later as well if she needs to. She's got a gaggle of kids to take care of, so yeah. She's a busy lady. Book 5, that's the Butcher's Masquerade, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
it's pretty good.
I was gonna say, it seems like you're enjoying the series then, if you're like, I gotta keep going. I can't stop.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, yeah, there's definitely pros. I have like mixed feelings on parts of the series,
Okay.
but overall it's very good.
Is there something thematically specifically that you're on the fence about or struggling with?
The series is super, I mean, it's in the first book as well, but it's just very chaotic, which is fun and fine, but it makes it so there's very few parts in the series where there's like an actual break, or like there's not just shit happening all the time.
Yep.
And so it makes it kind of annoying to read in parts.
I feel like that's partially by design, and also because Matt has described himself as a pantser, where he doesn't really map things out as he's writing. And that's probably that writing style coming through in the book series. But
yeah, definitely.
If I also like put the hat on of like, if I was in this scenario, you're probably not going to get a lot of breaks. And they also, it was one of the notes that I made actually that they mentioned toward the back half in book 1, where the fascists have entered the chat basically, and there's this whole corporate espionage situation going on where they're trying to, one group is trying to take over another, and they're purposely speeding up the dungeon as a result. So they're pushed, like they had to start it earlier than they had planned. The group that was in charge of it didn't really like get to do it on the schedule that they wanted, and they're kind of put up against a wall. So I think some of that like frantic nature is also like it's supposed to be like that, because there's this whole second scenario going on beyond the dungeon that we're just barely starting to learn about in the back half of the first book. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Exactly. There's a lot of things in play that make it super chaotic.
Well, and I've heard we haven't got to book 3 yet, but I think it's book 3 when the Iron Tangle gets introduced. I still don't really know what that is, but I have seen lots of people comment about how it was really hard for them to get through it. It was hard to read. It's really impossible to follow. And then the author said, you're not supposed to follow it. Like, it just is. Like, don't bother trying to make it make sense. So I can only imagine when I get to that in the audiobook what that experience is going to be like. But not to get too far ahead. So, Stellar, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because you had a couple theories after the first half going into the second half. And one of those was about Frank and what's her face that I am now forgetting, Maggie. So how satisfied were you with their return in the second half of the first book? Because you pretty much called it.
I was surprised that they returned so quickly. Like, I thought it was going to be like, maybe another book or something before we saw them again. But it was kind of nice to see them. I was during that like whole talk show, section, which was crazy.
Wild.
I thought
Absolutely
it was
wild.
disgusting. I can't stand the maestro, but
That's the point, though. I think he's
yes,
supposed to be pretty hated, and definitely
for
nobody
sure.
here likes him. And I love that Carl really leans into how much he hates bullies, and you start to see more of his, I think his moral core of he does not have patience for this shit, and he starts
Mhm.
pushing buttons. And I thought the way that played out was really interesting. But
Mhm.
what else were you going to say about Frank and Maggie's
Something
interview?
So, the way I read part 2, I first started reading it like the old-fashioned way, analog, but, I left my book, over the weekend, at work and,
Oh yeah, you
last
said that.
week, and I really wanted to get into it. So I ended up getting the audio version of it, and I
Oh,
listened to, like, most of part 2, like, the
uh-huh.
audio book, and, um, I like it, like, like, a lot of the voices, like, it made sense, like, what I was envisioning in my mind, like, it
Okay.
matched for the most part, but about the maestro part, though, the glurp glurp part, I hated it, it was so gross, like, whenever they would do glurp glurp in unison, so nasty. So, it
It's
was kinda
supposed
a
to be,
nice
though.
touch. It is, yes. The intention, yeah, you
Um,
know
speaking of, before we get too much further, I grabbed, I posted this in the book club channel, so you guys may have already seen it, but I wanted to play this little ditty from Zach McMillan, who I just came across on Instagram. Obviously my entire algorithm now is Dungeon Crawler Carl, but he writes these fun little like theme songs, and it's hilarious and I love it. And that just triggered this and made me think of it. But I wanted to play this really quick for you guys. So I think it's only going to work on the horizontal version though, because it won't open the source on the other side. So here we go. Let me tell you about the story of Carl and Donut. You never know what you're gonna see. Just a furry little laser cat and stunted grown up with cute little toes made for squishing on things. There's Mordecai, the manager, who loves his potions and keeps his emotions all under control. And Sathame, the fabulous, who's up for anything, and when she's unleashed, heads will roll. Will the universe be chanting or cursing their names? Will they finally break them all or get broken by this sadistic game? Glurp, 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 glurp. I didn't catch that the first time that I heard that song, that he was doing the glurp thing at the end. And then when I was going back and taking notes from the second part, I was like, oh my God, that's what he's referencing. I was like, I remember now. Hi, Tiny, welcome in. So
I just completely overlooked that. I guess I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really see it.
But I love that little theme song that guy wrote, and it's so perfect. I was like, I want them to hire him to write the theme song for the show that they're making, because
it's really cute.
It's just got that really fun, like little kind of like ditty vibe to it, and I was like, this is perfect for how fucked up these books are and how dark they get. I thought it was really interesting. Because, where part 1 and part 2 kind of switch over is now they get sucked out of the dungeon. They're in these interviews. They meet Odette, which is a whole vibe. She's described so crazily. I had to go back and listen to it multiple times in the audiobook because I was like, I'm sorry, what does she look like? I was like, giant boobs, crab body. I picture the head of like the guy from Space Ghost, like the praying mantis head, kind of. Like I couldn't visualize it. I was like, what? And then she like takes the, her mask off or whatever, and she's just a person. But I was like, what the fuck is happening? But clearly she's just somebody that's figured out how to play the game to her own advantage. And then when they go back and tell Mordecai that like Odette says what's up, and he's like, fuck her. Fuck her and everything that she stands for. I was like, oh, okay, there's some history here. So I'm really curious to get into the story. I'm assuming that she's got something to do with what caused his brother's death, because they're clearly alluding very quickly to that that is an unresolved wound for him. Yeah, same Kiv. Like the whole time, just like, ew. So gross. But, you know, I definitely feel like she's a character she's going to play nice to get what she wants from them. But I definitely am leaning toward like what Mordecai said about her. He was like, you can't trust that bitch as far as you can throw her, basically. I was like, all right, some shit's going to go down here. And then we meet Zev. Zev is so interesting, little fish lady. I can never remember the name of their species. What are the fish?
Like
Something with a K.
Kuatin.
Kuatin. Kuatin. That's what it is. Yeah. I was like, I don't know why I can never remember it. But
I had to take notes because it was just a lot. Like, you know, they're just like more and more like, you know, mystery and like yes, but yeah.
I started a OneNote and I started going through and I'm gonna start like dictating like notes and things because I also wanted to remember more things to go back and talk about in the book because last time I just kind of seat of my pants it and was like I'm trying to remember. But
and I find with audio like I feel like I don't retain as much. I feel like I retain more when I'm reading it, so like that's why like I have to take notes. Like you know, if I'm kind
of the same way. And but like reading, I will, because I'll go back and read something multiple times because I'm one of those people like spaces out mid paragraph and I'm like, wait, how am I I think I stopped paying attention 3 pages ago and I have to go back and reread. But yeah, I'm really interested to learn more about Odette's backstory too, Kivrin, as well as like what went down with her and Mordecai. Cause like there's no way they're not gonna fill in the gaps there with how the universe is expanding beyond the dungeon and you're starting to learn about all the people behind the scenes and the players. And then it was a really interesting tie-in where the Maestro and the whole Chad bro show that he's got going on gets into, oh, well, he's one of the orcs that's one of the groups that is related to the Sepsis Queen tiara that Donut has that said on floor 9, you have to kill so-and-so, and now he's got a mortal enemy. And I was like, oh, so it's getting connected. Okay. And I'm just looking forward to Carl fucking that guy up. There's no way it's not going to happen. I really hope he squishes him with his feet, personally. But like, that guy was a real dick.
or maybe the bootsy bottom, like as a few, like, you know, even though that was supposed to be as he described it,
and then the what did they call it? The Snick film that came out.
Oh yeah,
that was not expected. I was like, wait a second, we got porn going, like AI porn. What? I love that Carl's first thought was like, I wonder if the AI made this. It's like he already knows. Yeah. I'm like,
my first thought about that was I was like, I bet Prince Maestro made it.
Well,
Brilliant.
you know, it's I feel like it's either one of the other orc groups that's like against them, you know, one of the people that they fight with all the time, or the AI is a freak. So I wouldn't put it past the AI. But yeah, that was just no words.
Speaking of the AI, when he gets the pedicure kit, you know, this chapter, like, you know, or this part, and I'm listening to audio, I'm like, oh my God.
I told you that's where the audio, mean. Like, yeah. Yes. And then Donut's like, you got to pay the daddy tax. Yeah. I was dying. I was so like, this is so good. But the AI's voice, I think the way he does the AI's voice is why it's like one of my favorites, because it's that game show host kind of, you know, new achievement, but it's so like snarky at the same time. And then you get glimpses of it having like its own personality. I think I talked about it on the last one, but when they get the mana toast and he does the description and he's like, it's mana toast. It replaces your mana. That's all it does. Fuck you. Like the way he delivers it, I died. I was like, this is the funniest shit ever. It's so good. But I love the way that the AI interacts throughout, because it just adds like, specifically in the audio version though, I don't know that it translates as well if you're reading it, but I really like all the different characteristics that Jeff brought to. I think he's voiced over 280 different characters now up through book 8. And it's wild watching the videos of him recording it, because he just does live switching. He doesn't record them separately, which is just crazy to me.
It's really good. I mean,
yeah.
for Donut, I feel like I don't know. I like his accent or the voice that he gives Donut,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like sometimes I hear like a hint of Stewie Griffin. Like I don't know, like just like every
Yeah.
now and then I just hear like
He
Stewie,
well, and then
but it's good.
especially in the first couple books, like he's talked quite a few times about how he was just doing a Patrick Warburton impersonation. So Carl just
Mm-hmm.
is Kronk.
Yeah.
And I was just watching another interview with him recently. He was talking to this the Charismatic Voice is a channel that I follow. She does a lot of vocal analysis for like different singers, but she's obsessed with this book series. And so for the first time ever, she did a voice actor, and they had a really long interview. And he talked about how he didn't do a good job of like doing pre-reads and like really understanding what the tone needed to be. And he made a lot of assumptions about Carl, which I think is what most people do when you first meet him. You don't get a lot of depth about him in the first book. Like he's a guy, Coast Guard, engineer, likes to blow things up. His girlfriend's a bitch. Like that's about as much as you know about him. He doesn't develop that much in the first book. And so Jeff talked a lot about how he was like, I didn't have a lot of insight, so that was what I did. And he said, he's like, I can't even go back and listen to the first 3 books because Carl just wasn't who he becomes in the later books with his voice and everything. So knowing that like inside baseball about it, I'm interested to see how it progresses throughout the additional audiobooks. It just like adds another layer of like lore, which is kind of interesting. So I thought that was kind of cute. Of any of the new characters that we met in the second half of the book, do you all have a particular favorite?
I don't remember when we met them, but was Meadowlark, is that part of the first or second part?
First part. Meadowlark? Well,
remind me, who's Meadowlark again?
Oh, it's the retirement home.
Yeah. Well, we meet most of them. We meet the lady with the dementia that keeps thinking Carl's her husband. Agatha, obviously, which some shit is going on with Agatha. Like,
I'm so curious as to find out what is Agatha's deal. Yeah, it's like, what is she? Who is she? Who is she working for? Or is she working with someone else? Or
what was it? The Valte, I think is what it was called.
Valte Corporation.
Yeah, when he finds that random shit in his inventory and then he connects the two and he's like, oh my God, that must have been in her cart. And then just the whole way that she gets cut out of that video and shows up and disappears. And I was like, oh, here we go. Here's the seedlings of the larger game at play beyond the dungeon of these other groups that are all battling for power outside of this. So crazy lady, my ass. No, yeah, something's up. Well, they mentioned too that the Valte are like a parasitic species. So I assume that like Agatha is just an old lady that got taken over and not anything to look like what the actual, I don't know, with a parasitic species, they could go a lot of different ways with it. So very interested to see where that goes. And with him having these, quote unquote, illegal items now, the knowing that one of the future books is called the Anarchist Cookbook, like I can just assume that Carl's already fed up with everything. He's mad at the world. He likes blowing shit up. I think he's going to try to find a way to like see the cracks in the system and start to manipulate that. Because as much as he comes across as like a big dumb oaf in the first book, he's a master strategist. Like the guy is so good at reading a room, and so far he's been a one-trick pony with just blow it up. I don't think that's going to stick as they get to lower floors, but I think that the way that he reads a situation, it's always like a little bit of an inkling about like where his moralities sit. And he has a really, really strong sense of like being able to assess what's going on. So what about the dude peeing on the wall? Yeah, I had a note about that. Old man Jack. That was the other old person, home person I was going to mention. That whole thing was just, what? Another thing I couldn't really visualize in my head was the elemental, the rage elemental that is attacking them. Like I couldn't get a good understanding of it in my mind, but I did think it was pretty slick of him to, again, being the strategist that he is, he knows to get it near the stairs and then get it to go down the stairs, and it basically yeets itself, because they learned that from the Gilmore Girls, Rory and Lorelai told them if they go down the stairs too early, they die. And he knew that thing was like level 90 something. And he's like, oh, we are fucked unless I figure something. Like, he's good at thinking outside the box.
And this is just like more reason to just like pay extra attention to what people say, because it'll like call back.
Yeah, for somebody that doesn't map everything out in his books, like he's definitely doing a lot of like really niche hints and stuff, which to me feels very much like video games. You know, like somebody says something in what you think is a throwaway line in the game, and then you realize that it's like the key to some puzzle later on. Like that's probably a common trope in lit RPGs. I don't know, because I haven't read other lit RPGs, but that feels like that's made for that type of subgenre. But yeah, Jack dying like was so brutal. And I thought it was really interesting that creature had the ability to like reverse gravity and threw everybody into the ceiling. I was like, oh shit. Like, how do you counteract that? Unless you get some piece of armor, you have to figure out how to either work with that or hope that it doesn't do it again. Cause that's an OP way to fuck up your strategy, you know? I really liked...
worth noting. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's also worth noting, like, this is kind of one of the first times that we meet a game mechanic that kind of gets like fucked up with real world situations. Like, we see Carl kind of using the game mechanics against itself, which is good, like important to note, because if it was like an actual video game or whatever, like the Rage Elemental like wouldn't have died by going down the stairs, because that's like
like, and when he figures out in the first half when they do the pig ball and he figures out that his table is indestructible, it's like a perfect shield, you know, he figures out an exploit almost immediately against the system. So like that's where I think his like strategy brain is good at thinking outside of like, oh, he's not just thinking within the confines of like what the rules he's being told are. He's finding exploits and finding ways to stay alive, you know? And like, speaking of like the boss fights, I loved the whole, the Mary Kay fairies, the Avon lady fairies, the little MLM fairies that then, you know, that's how he creates the Jug of Boom, and then the Crack Karen. Like, the fact that it's called a Crack Karen is hilarious to me. But I really, really loved just the whole way that went down. And then the fact that he had to make a smoothie from them and like drink it, and it made Donut drunk, and like just the whole chaos of that fight and how it went down was just but also hilarious. The like MLM pyramid scheme fairy chicks was just like high hilarity to me. I was like, what?
Yeah, and interesting to see, there's so many parts in the book where Donut and Carl don't take like the obvious route to complete something. And it makes things so interesting and chaotic, but also there's times when you're like, well, what was the normal route here? Because this is like such a crazy situation. Like, what was even supposed to happen?
And I feel like part of that is because like Donut's so unpredictable. She's a fucking live wire. Like, you really don't know what she's gonna do. I mean, like, where this book ends is they're like, all right, time to go to floor 3 and time to pick your class or whatever. And I'm like, I can only imagine she's gonna do the normal shit, not read the instructions, pick some random shit. Like, I can already see it. She's gonna do something that's gonna piss Carl off immediately. He's gonna sit there and overthink and overanalyze and be like, oh, what's the right choice? And she's just gonna be like, this one comes with sparkles. Click. She's just gonna grab it, and he's gonna be like, God damn it, Donut. So it, you know,
what were they getting at? Like, at
God
the
damn
end,
it,
like
Donut.
with Odette, when they were talking about like the choice that would make, did I miss? I was gonna go back and reread it, like, you know, because I listened to that part, but I was a little confused when Odette was saying, like, you know, there's a choice that would be really good for them, but it might not make someone happy. Was that like the AI, the overlord people, or they're talking about Donut, right?
It was
Was it
part.
Donut's class or Donut's race?
I don't remember if it was the race or the class, but yeah, that was where Odette was kind of saying, you know, you're going to have a shit ton of choices here, and like certain choices, some choices are better than others, and like if you choose certain things, you need to choose, because there was a conversation about, you know, do they change their race? Like, does he stay human or does he not? And does Donut stay a cat or not? And then I think Donut said that he should become a cat at one point. But
Donut's like, I'm gonna be a cat. There's no question about it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she was saying that if you change certain things about you, you could lose a lot of your followers. So she's like, be careful with, you know, changing who you are, because that could negatively impact your popularity. So I've seen the covers of like future books, and like I assume they just stay the same. Like they're not changing
That's what I'm
their.
assuming too.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change their
maybe discuss
races.
it a bit. They're gonna mention it,
Yeah,
but then it's not gonna happen. Or like if it does happen, maybe like they change briefly, but then they quickly change back. Or I don't think there's no way Donut's not gonna, you know.
Yeah, I think it was just Odette telling them like there's more at stake here than just choosing a race in a class.
Yeah, don't just play for like power or skills, because there are other aspects to it, especially
to the game.
This whole larger commentary around how people need to feed into, you know, the social media aspect of it all for favoritism, you know, clicks, likes, benefactors, like all of this stuff that's going to become important later. And that's obviously like larger conversation around how the internet that we live on is all catered toward that, you know. So
the algorithm,
yeah. And
well, there's other things like, and what you'll read in book 2, and I obviously won't say anything, but like there's more that happens with choosing a race in a class. So
I'm sure
Odette is kind of just like telling them, don't just look at it for face value.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Well, and Mordecai mentioned at one point, he was like, there are tons to choose from. And then they also cater it toward like the specifics of each dungeon or like the planet that they're mining and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm sure this is going to be probably a large chunk, because book 2 is pretty short. I think it's the shortest one. It's only like 345 pages. Wow. So, and then after that, it goes the opposite direction and they become monoliths. But, yeah, like I assume it's going to be something that, like I said, like I think Carl's going to lose a lot of sleep over, and Donut's just going to be like, this one. Not think about it at all.
Yeah.
I'm curious to learn more about the Desperado Club. I don't know when that's going to happen, but there was mention of that shortly, briefly. And that seemed like something important, but we don't really have any scope of what that is. What else did I have in my notes? My notes are unhinged. My notes say, hi, Zev, Jack No Tinkle, Snick Film, Return of Douchebags on Angry Show. My brain makes no sense. Oh, did anybody else, I think this is from the Labyrinth, if I can remember correctly, but when they described the kobolds on the dingoes, did anybody else think of that little like fox dog guy that's in like the Napoleon suit that rides a dog? I swear, I think it's in Labyrinth. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like a specific character. It's like a practical puppet from a movie from like the 80s or 90s. And there's this like little dog guy.
Are you talking about Sir David Didymus?
Yeah. That's who I'm thinking of.
That's an old reference.
Shut up. I'm old. Fuck you.
But yeah, that kind of is.
That's what I visualize. Like a little dog riding a bigger dog.
Oh my God. I'm Googling it right now.
Yes. I wish I had a picture that I could pull up, because I was like, that's immediately what I visualized. And I don't know why. But
that's what I had to do. Like listening into audio. Like like I would like after I listened to it, I would have to like search things up. Like you mentioned, like you had a hard time in
the wiki is kind of helpful.
The elemental.
So I had
to Google what does the elemental look like, and
the wiki is super helpful for that stuff. Because there's a lot of like fan art for things that aren't explicitly described, or things that are canon as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I did like the way that the whole twist happened leading up to them getting to choose a pet of he made this specific choice. This goes along that line of what you're saying about they don't take the obvious path. Him choosing to give the pet biscuits to the dingoes that were in cages, and then, you know, I think he had an inkling that it might happen, that they would become friendly, and then they open all the cages thinking that they're going to attack Carl, and instead they attack the kobolds and fuck them up. I was like, that's another, like, he takes a beat and he like assesses the whole situation. He's like, what option could I do here? And he seems like really, really witty and like quick on his feet with that kind of stuff. Cause like you said, it's chaos all the time. They don't get a lot of time to strategize. So I thought that was interesting. And then them going to the room where they get to pick all the different pets. And then like they're reading all the descriptions. There's like the little meatball thing. And then there's, you know, the pink chicken, I think is how they described like Mongo. And they're going through, and I was like, I don't really know which one of these sounds like it would be the best option. And then Donut just immediately like imprints, and she's like, Mongo. It becomes her baby. And I was like, oh Lord. Because the whole thing with Mongo like constantly biting her face. And she's just trying to smother it with love. And she's like, love me, please. She's just like, it's so great. I'm like, I feel like this is going to be a great trope going through the rest of the books, with her having a fucking velociraptor as her royal steed. Like, what? Oh, but I thought that was great. And Mongo's just like a cute, hilarious thing right now, you know?
Yeah,
and from the early descriptions, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're describing a velociraptor or some type of hunting dinosaur. And then they pretty much were like, oh yeah, I think in your native tongue they call it a velociraptor. And I was like, yep, see, yep, that's what it was. It was great. It was pretty funny. I liked it.
Yeah, the Donut Mongo like relationship is very fun.
Yeah, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of Carl just going sighing, because he's like, it's hard enough, because Donut's kind of, you know, like that obstinate adolescent type age where she doesn't listen for shit. Like I think she does want to do good, but like on her own terms. And he's like, that's already a handful for him. And then now he's got a baby dinosaur that he doesn't know if it's going to turn around and maul them in their sleep. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, you know, shenanigans afoot. I think it's going to be interesting, though. But I'm also curious if now that they're going to be going to the third floor and they get to make all these choices about their race and their class and stuff, like, does any of that apply to Mongo? Because they did get Mongo to bond right before they went to the next floor. So Mongo gets to come along for the ride. Does Mongo get anything special? Or Mongo just levels? Mongo is a pretty basic pet. And then, you know, we don't know. So I'm curious to see how that evolves. Trying to think.
The pet system in the book series is it's very interesting, and it is not super described in depth, but it's fun to see the different pets that do show up. Like obviously right now we have Mongo, and we get to see him kind of like grow and develop with Carl and Donut.
Yeah.
And Donut obviously started off as a pet. So it's interesting that she's now a full crawler with a pet, and they really don't like dive in deep about why things like that come to be.
Well, I think the only reason she changed was because she got the special pet biscuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can we give Mongo one of those? But I do remember him reading or asking Mordecai, and he got some little tidbit about like the way that Mongo is added to their party as her pet. Like he can still have a pet as well. So I think there's still room in their party for one more pet at some point in the future, if I was remembering that correctly.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I was going to bring up? There's a lot that happened in part 2. Like,
I'm just excited for them to kind of encounter just more dungeon crawlers. I mean,
yeah,
it's nice when they interact with other people, but at the same time, like with the whole Meadowlark thing, I am kind of glad uh they kind of split up in the end. They went their own ways.
yeah,
Because it is kind of like it's already enough as it is. Like, with like everything that's going on, we're learning like, these new features to the dungeon, new rules and whatnot. But if they were to add, or if that author was to add like another character, I think, or like characters, I think that like it just might be too much at a certain point. But I definitely want to still see them interact, just not necessarily like, add new people to like, the group, if that makes
too
sense.
much feels very on brand for this book series.
Yes. Yes.
The other thing that's really interesting, because they completely cheesed the system, and they got all of these elderly folks that should not have survived up to this point to the third floor. And now they get to do the same thing where they get to choose races and classes and all of that stuff. And I'm sure that those of them that are of sound enough mind are going to be able to now put themselves in a position where they can actually defend themselves. Maybe they can even make themselves younger. I don't know. Like, depending on what choices are available, there's no way that Brandon is going to be able to keep these folks alive if they continue to stay feeble and vulnerable. Case in point, Jack, like, old man's like, fuck a bathroom, I'm gonna piss in the hallway, and then we saw how that went. So and then why was Agatha with that group to begin with? Like, if this is a parasitic species that can infiltrate and do all these things, like, why that choice?
Well, I think before the crash, wasn't she like causing like a ruckus outside of the Meadowlark place? Like she caught it on fire.
Yeah. So like, I think that she is not
She's the
what
reason they
she
were all
appears
outside,
to be. Yeah. And so she was like, oh shit, I'm gonna try to help these people survive. But like, why there in the first place? She could have been anywhere on the planet doing anything. Like, is there some strategery to that? Is there a reason? Like, yeah. Well, I think Agatha absolutely knew what was coming. I think there's some secret agent-y nonsense, something about her. She knows information that is outside of the realm of what the reader is being told, for sure. So there's something up there. But it's like,
it was so weird,
why was she hanging out with a bunch of old folks? If she's in, she's being sneaky on the planet and stuff. Like, why that? That's a big question that I have in the back of my head, is like, more to know about Agatha and how she fits into all of this.
For sure. And that one part where like Carl calls her out. Well, I guess she thinks like she's gonna call him out for the stuff in the cart, but then he like quickly like notices like her demeanor change, and like, then he's like, oh no, I was just gonna fix your wheel, just was squeaky. And he's like, yeah, very suspicious.
Yeah, and he's on it. Like, he knows what not to say in front of the overlords, I guess we'll call them. I did like his whole aha moment of like, well, wait a second, I can be as much of a pain in the ass as I want to be, as long as I don't besmirch the fascist fish. Like, as long as I don't piss them off and offend them, fuck everybody else here. And he can kind of lean into that. And so I think that's going to get really interesting, because it's going to give him the ability to kind of play like a double-edged sword too, of, is he playing it up for the social aspect of it to get people to rally and like him as a character, but then he could also start to unravel some of the bigger picture things because of his connection to people like Agatha, or Odette clearly knows things, Mordecai clearly knows things. So like, there's so many different jumping off points that this could go. And I'm sure no matter what direction I think it's going to go somewhere else. 100%. So, yeah. Does she have a way to get out of the dungeon without finishing it? I think she can go in and out of the dungeon at will, because I think she is one of these Valte people. I don't think that Agatha is actually stuck in there. I think that she is straight up some type of like secret spy that knows the inner workings of the system, because she's part of this other race, most likely. I'm assuming that she's one of these parasitic species and not a human that's working in conjunction with them. Yeah. So I think she knows like backdoors and different ways to like to leave and come back, but she has to do it all under like secret sneaky sneaks because to where the system can see, you know, it's like knowing the blind spots for cameras kind of thing. Like she can come and go, but she's also working some other angle that we don't know. Like I definitely feel like that's a whole thing that's like right there under the surface, but we haven't been made privy to that yet.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I hope that's true. Like, you know, that's
secret agent man. Yeah, something like that.
Or secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. The whole dungeon is a secret tunnel.
Literally, yes.
Yep. But yeah, like I'm trying to think what else happened in.
I was kind of surprised that he kind of had that breaking point so early on. I thought he was going to at least hold off until like maybe the second book, but like with the whole cop show,
I
he
didn't.
literally like walked off. I thought
I felt like he was hot-headed right out the gate.
Like, you know, he taught him a lesson, maestro, but I thought he was going to play along with it. It was going to be awful, but I'm glad that he stood up to him.
Yeah.
And the show's like, you know, on a hiatus or something now because of that.
Like he really fucked that guy up. He verbally tore him down. And then the Snick film that came out as a result, you know, the guy was like, I need to go fade into the distance for a little bit. But no, I thought that Carl was going to snap pretty soon, and he was going to find out if he was going to get punished for his behavior. Like the little inner monologue that he has throughout, like he just seems so. He's like, I'm going to play this game because I have no choice, but also I'm going to bring this fucking system down. Like he is so not there for what they want him there for. And I think he is a lot more clever than they're leading on this early in the series. And I think he's definitely looking for an option to probably learn what the fuck Agatha's up to and see if she's got some way that he can get an angle to start bringing this system down from the inside. One of your favorite scenes is when Donut charms the little guys who run the rest stop restaurants into brushing her. And oh, yes, the little troll guys, the gnome guys or whatever that are in the safe spaces, and her charisma being like way too high. And they basically treat her like she is Princess Donut. It's hilarious.
One of them saying like, oh, I've never had royalty in here before.
Yeah, he was like, oh my. So that was pretty great. Yeah. It was very cute. That was a nice little spin. And I'm curious what other types of like fuckery they're going to do with the rules. Speaking of, because you mentioned earlier, like how they keep changing the rules because they're going to have to. I think part of it is because they have to pivot because they rushed this whole thing out. And there's Moxie. Hello. How are you, love? They have a lot of bugs that they have to fix and then adjust for. And then they're finding out when folks figure out exploits, they have to like adjust around that. Now you can't go into a safe room an hour before the level is going to collapse. Like, you know, I'm curious how much of it is this the normal amount of bugs that they have to adjust when they do these dungeons? Or is it more than usual because everything is kind of a clusterfuck behind the scenes? And this group was at risk of being, you know, taken over forcefully by this other group, and they got no money and they're trying to rush this whole thing out, and they had to start the dungeon earlier than planned. That feels more likely to me that they like had to rush it out and now they're trying to like go back and fix things.
I wonder if maybe the because apparently like at the end we find out Borat is broke, and then like Valkyrie had to like Borat.
Very nice.
But they're broke. And then Valte kind of stepped in to, I don't know, take over or something, or like they're kind of like they were about to like
they're about to do a hostile takeover. Yeah, it's like corporate. That just feels like typical like corporate end stage capitalism type shit. You know, like one company takes over another company, and it's weird because there's like this combination of like corporations doing this, but then also different races and stuff that are fighting for ultimate power, which just feels a little too real. The world today. So I'm like, I don't love that. Moxie, have you been reading along as well? Like, have you read the first book? I know we talked about it a little bit, but I don't think I've checked in with you to see where you're at book-wise. I'm curious to know.
While Moxie answers that, one thing we haven't talked about yet is the 3 crawlers, Maggie, the player killers, because they were on that other interview as well, and that's where.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were on the second show, and then they also brought in the girl with the dogs, right?
Lucia
Marr. That's right. Can't wait for Carl to run into her.
The one African group that was like dominating too, they're kind of out because they met their ends after they ran out of ammo, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then they come across like this huge like blob or something, and then I think they're officially done.
Yeah. I am curious to see what evolves with Maggie, because this whole revelation that Carl has during the interview that like he didn't know they had a daughter and that she got seriously injured, and then his moral moment of you fucking murdered your own daughter, and Maggie snapping as a result of his response to that and his commentary around it. Like she's I feel like she's just gonna completely fixate on him and get like a target on his back and just try to do everything that she can to take him down. So
yeah, I think they'll probably come up at the worst possible moment.
Of course.
And then, you know,
of course,
you know, shit will hit the fan and it'll just be chaos.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel bad for them that they did that, but at the same time, they were hunting players before that. So I'm like, I still don't like Frank.
Oh no, they're shitty people. Like they were part of that trafficking ring and all that shit. So like they you know, we thought they were bad people when we thought they were ICE agents, and then come to find out they're even somehow worse. People. Like they're terrible people. Full stop. And then you know, I agree with Carl 100%. Like she made a terrible choice of, why would you just kill your daughter? Like there are so many options in the dungeon to get her health back and restore her.
They didn't even try.
Like, they didn't. Yeah, they were just like, nah. Like what? Terrible choices from terrible people. So that's definitely gonna. Oh, you think their handler told them to kill other people? I mean, it's possible. We don't really know much about the other handlers yet. So
they mentioned something like that, I think.
Yeah, I thought they did. That, yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was book 1 or not, so I wasn't saying anything. But yeah,
that is part of book 1.
Their Mordecai person told them that they had to kill.
Okay. I couldn't really remember. I am curious to learn more about the different admins, I'll call them, in the game, because we get that glimpse when, you know, Zev gets reprimanded and pulled out temporarily, and then they get that other guy, and that's how they end up on the Chad show to begin with. And that guy's a total dick. You know, he's just like, shut up, do the thing, this pays more money, go. Like he does not care about them at all. He's just there to do the job, kind of like a robot. Where Zev is hinting at, I'm a prisoner of this too, the same as Mordecai is a prisoner. You know, like those are the folks that are stuck in the system and have no choice but to participate in it for their own survival, but they are also victims. And how that's gonna evolve. I think
really like really Zev. I really hope that I don't know.
I just love really when Donut's like, hi Zev.
Yes. I love their little relationship. And I hope that, like, you know, I mean, she's doing what she needs to do to survive. So I really hope it doesn't come to a point where like she needs to, like, you know, betray them, you know, in order to, like, you know, for her own safety.
I think she would try to. I think she would try to sneak them a message. Like if she's in between a rock and a hard place and she has no choice, I think she's gonna find a way to warn them that, like,
I hope so,
some shit's coming.
Just like the picture that we get of like Zev, the little like derpy fish and like the
in little like an astronaut suit with waterfall.
It's so cute.
It's so hilarious. And I like that Donut and Zev immediately bonded over, what was it, Gossip Girl?
Gossip Girl. Yes.
It's like, what?
And then she tried to write fan fiction and failed. So
I was like, you're so nerdy. It's great. That's perfect.
So I just hope for her safety. But I mean, she already got reprimanded because I guess she got in trouble for kind of like telling them about the
Yeah,
elemental
she definitely
thing,
shared
and
too
then
much and got in
yes,
trouble as a result. So I'm honestly surprised that they didn't kill her
brought her
off.
back.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that was kind of shocking to me.
Hmm.
Moxie, I'm very excited for you to get the books so that you can join us and catch up. Stellar, I have a question for you though. Since you left your book at home and then you did the audiobook, which direction do you think you're going to go going forward? Are you going to go back to analog, or do you think you want to do more audiobook going forward?
I think I want to do both. I think I'm gonna, read it analog first, and then as like supplemental material, I think I'm just gonna listen to it, like maybe
Mm-hmm.
when I'm like gaming or something, just because I do like that, added, um, like I guess added effect that I get hearing it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think I do gain something from that. I like,
Okay.
the voiceover. Um, yeah, and then I do want to hear like the change. So you mentioned like the first three books, he like was still kind of finding his voice and
Yeah,
stuff like that, and
his
after
voice is
that,
going to evolve
he
a little
really
bit.
kind of developed it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do both going forward, and then
So
maybe check out the graphic novel because I do want to
yeah,
see what it looks like.
and
See what things look like.
I think the graphic novel only covers the first book so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's
right.
newer and it takes a lot longer to develop it and publish it and put it out and stuff. So I think what I was reading is that both the sound booth theater re-recording audiobook that has like all the immersive audio and stuff in it, so it's actually a full cast of people, and it has like sound effects like the explosions and things like that are added into it, so it's more like a radio play. That and the graphic novel, I'm pretty sure, are both only up through the first book. They're going to take a lot longer to get through to where the series is currently at. Told your brother-in-law about it yesterday. He's gotten the audiobooks for when he drives. Well, that seems like a good segue for me to let everybody know this book club is open invite. So if anybody else would like to join us, whether you've already read the series, you want to reread the series, or you want to jump in where we're at, please just type exclamation book club and it will give you the link to the Discord. We have got a dedicated channel in there where I share updates. And then obviously now that we're all the way through first book, that is all open for conversation in the channel. So if anybody wants to have any off-stream conversations about anything that happened in book one, that is now allowed in the channel. I will be posting this recording on YouTube as well for anybody that wasn't able to join us live if you want to do catch up. And then the plan going forward is going to be roughly half a book every...
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Hey, thank you for the raid. Half a book every 2 weeks. So we're going to figure out some scheduling here in just a moment. But welcome in, everybody. Hello, raiders. This will be super confusing for the YouTube VOD. Welcome, folks. We're currently enjoying book club. We're talking about Dungen Crawler Carl. Anybody from Kitten's channel? Oh, that's okay, Ange. Anybody from Kitten's raid? Have you all read Dungen Crawler Carl? You love it? Yay! So we just finished book one. I was just actually talking to everybody about how this is an open invite book club. So anybody else that would like to join us for a read through, you can just do exclamation book club in the chat and you will get the link to join the Discord where I've got a dedicated section just for book club. But we're going to be going through the whole series. So we're just about to start book number 2. So if you haven't read the series and you want to get caught up, I don't think it would take you too long to catch up to where we're at. We're roughly going to do about half a book every 2 weeks. When we get into the later books that are quite a bit bigger, I might break those into thirds just to balance that out a little bit, because I think some of the later books get into like the 800 plus page range. They get pretty beefy. But welcome in. Thank you for the raid. No spoilers past book 1. But Kid, anything specific come to mind about the series that's like your favorite? Like, who's your favorite character? Or for that matter, who's your least favorite character? I think mine right now is the Maestro, now that we've been introduced to him. Of who we know so far, that guy is just a real piece of shit. I don't like him at all.
Welcome to our little club of doom!
Thank you for the follow. I read good book like good soup. In my head. I don't know why. Thank you for the raid, everybody. we're going to be switching over to Elden Ring for second stream. We're getting pretty close to wrapping up book club for now, and then I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'll come back, and then we're going to do Elden Ring later. Favorite character's Princess Donut? I think that's fair. I think that's probably most folks' favorite character. Especially early on, you probably get more like development with her character right out of the gate than you do with anybody else. We're just barely getting a window into Mordecai and his demons, I'll say. And we, Carl is still just kind of one-dimensional so far, but I'm sure that there's going to be more to him. I was talking about it earlier, how we're starting to get a feel for like where his moral core sits, where his, he, even though he knows it's not the easiest choice, he often chooses what he feels is the right choice. Obviously them helping to save all the folks from Meadowlark in the old folks home and everything, like that was definitely not in their best interest right out of the gate, but they chose to do it anyway. So I mean, he did blow up an entire room of goblin babies, but we're not going to talk about that. So that's
to his credit, he didn't know they were in there, really.
Exactly.
They felt bad. I mean, and then when he blew up that place where the Krakkarans were, or the Krakkaran, I mean, I think he was like he was checking for babies. Like
he was like, okay, we're not. This is not going to happen again, right? Like, I can't sleep at night. Kivrin just shared some stuff in the book club channel too, by the way. So if anybody wants to see some renderings of Zev, I absolutely love that picture that you just posted. That's fantastic. I cannot recommend enough the wiki. I should have had it. I need to create a command for it because I don't think I did, but I'll add a command for chat for the future for the Dungen Crawler Carl. God, it's so hard to say. The wiki, because I think the wiki is a great resource for fan art. Anything that's canon about the series. You got to be a little careful about what you look up because you could easily get yourself into spoiler territory, obviously, because it carries everything that's in the whole universe up through the current book 8. But we were talking earlier about how some of the characters, the way they're described is really hard to visualize. Like, if I had to draw Odette from memory right now, I don't think that I could. What? All that stuck out about Odette for me was giant boobs and crab.
Lobster claws or crab claws.
Yeah, and I was like, that's as much as I can remember. So if you wanted to go look up like maybe an artist rendition, you could do that with the wiki. But yeah, that's an experience. I was like, I'm sorry. What? I had to go back and listen to that, I think like 3 times. And I still was like, what does she look like? It just too much.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It was like Lego pieces that got cobbled together. And I was like, and then when you find out that that's not what she actually looks like, it was
really
like,
glad it was
how was that your choice that you landed on? Which clearly works because she's supposed to be like the most popular host out there, Oh, Stellar, your Zev rendition is very cute.
So derpy.
I know. I know.
Yes.
Ridiculous, but okay.
I thought it was interesting that Mordecai was an arcanist, or he called it an arcanist. So I don't know. Yeah. So
I know.
So that's kind of cool.
Well, that was that. So my next question I was going to ask, and Kotsuki's going to have to keep his mouth shut because he's read ahead. But for those of us that obviously we haven't got to them choosing their race and class yet, what do you want to see them choose, or what do you think they're going to choose for their copious race and class choices?
So I feel like Carl's going to choose. Well, he's going to want to choose like some melee, like kind of normal class,
like a barbarian or something.
Going to be like like what?
Like a barbarian or something.
Yeah, barbarian, some type of warrior class. I think maybe monk. Monk was mentioned earlier in the first chapter. Yeah. But then he's probably going to be forced into like some ridiculous class that he doesn't want, but he's going to excel at. Something with feet. Maybe a new class that they created this season is going to be like a feet dancer or something.
Please no.
AI. So
I have enough PTSD around feet with the current Elden Ring playthrough. I don't need more of it in these books. Oh my God. But I know the AI is not gonna take pity on me, and there's definitely going to be more daddy tax to be paid. So
The
I
AI
have that
kind of
to look
saved him. I
forward
mean,
to.
like, remember during the crack hearing, like his feet are the only thing
Yeah,
that like basically were alive.
100%,
So
100%.
if it weren't for the AI, he wouldn't have
And I
been,
love all the artist renditions of like him and Donut, and he's all bloodied and battered and beaten up, but then his feet are like sparkly clean because he has that magical pedicure kit. So his feet are just like so nice, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? You think
But
you'd be
then
some kind of
Donut, I
martial
don't know.
arts or something? Okay, so I think we're kind of all leaning toward like some type of a monk class. I'm still really hung up on knowing that there is a book called The Anarchist Cookbook. I feel like
What book is that again?
I think that's
What
book
number?
3.
Book 3. Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like his hate for the system and his rage toward those that do injustice is going to have something to do with his future build. Like, what that is, I don't know, because I really don't think this is going to stick to like standard, D&D folk like classes as choices. I think there's going to be all kinds of weird shit in there, but I feel like there's going to be some aspect to that. But I also agree with you guys that because his fists are so powerful and because he does the stompy stomps with his feet, that there's going to be some type of a non-weapon, fighting monk class aspect to his class choice for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I just wonder, it's kind of off topic, but like when he rebels against the system, like, I mean, I guess this is kind of like getting ahead of ourselves, but like, how would he even do that? Because like, how can he even operate within the system? Like, I feel like they would just like,
we don't know,
like some of his powers, but
to be determined. I feel like Agatha's going to have something to do with that, though.
Yeah, I think Agatha definitely would be the key.
Yeah, because like, the Kuatine are technically in charge, but we found out very quickly that they're not the only ones out there. They're not the only players on the board. And with these other groups that are able to either buy their way in because they're paying for interviews and access, or, if Agatha is some type of secret spy, then this other group that has more power or more influence and more, want to push the Kuatine out, like there are outside forces that I think are going to find ways into the system and then utilize that to either manipulate or give advantage to people that I assume Carl's not going to be the only one. He can't be the only person, but that anybody from like the inside of the system that wants to tear it down from the outside. Like, it just seems like there's so much chaos happening outside of this dungeon, but all the infighting of these different groups, that this is the perfect time for them to try to take advantage of that via the system. So
maybe there's already been attempts, but of course, they've
could be very much. Yeah.
They've
we don't know.
They've hidden that fact, like, they've from the people, and maybe Agatha will show them the way.
Yeah. There's just something that is itchy about Agatha. I feel like she's going to have a bigger part to play at some point. If it's sooner or later, we don't know, but something about hers sticking.
For sure.
And then
what
as
do you
far
think
as
Donut's gonna do?
I was gonna say, as far as Donut goes, I can't even begin to think.
She's good physically, but like, I think she's not tanky enough. She has like her claws.
Hi, Adge.
Like,
Adge famously hates this book series, by the way, just so everybody can bully him. I do feel like she wants the magic. I think Donut is a fan of her magic missile. She doesn't want to use her claws, even though they're super powerful, but her ridiculous charisma is the thing that's got me spinning about. I don't think her core skill is going to be physical or magical. I think it's going to be something with like intelligence and charisma based, like she can talk like her way out of any situation, or, well, God, I hope she doesn't choose Bard. For so many reasons. The more I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if I can handle singing Donut like all the time. It could be ridiculous, but she's no Scanlan. God.
What other classes are there in D&D? I guess I'm not too familiar with D&D classes.
Well, I guess it depends on what edition you're playing, but there's obviously among class you can be a paladin, you could have a rogue, you could have a wizard or a sorc, you could have singing songs of inspiration. I don't know. I don't have a feeling like Donut has the voice of an angel. But
no,
and I feel like it's going to be more spoken skill than singing. But but I guess there is a variation of a bard that like their strength is in storytelling, not so much in song. So like there could be some variation of that, but I don't know. I definitely feel like it's going to lean into her diva nature in some way. She considers herself royalty, so it may be some subset of class that leans into that. I definitely don't see her taking any type of a build that's her. Yeah, just her, but more.
Princess class.
Yes, it just creates more Donut. Yeah, I don't know. And then I'm still really curious, like if Mongo's going to get anything special now that we have Mongo, because I feel like there's a lot of potential for Mongo to be so fun. But, Mongo's still very much a baby, and we don't know. But the fact that she made Mongo her royal steed, I think, is just perfection. So I'm excited for that.
Fits.
Yeah.
Velociraptor, it's so funny.
And I forget, so their game admins, like their Mordecai, he's only supposed to be around through floor 3, right? And then they're supposed to be on their own?
Yeah, so after floor 3, they're no longer any training guilds, I think is what they're called.
Okay, yeah. So, but there are still safe rooms, right? There's just not specifically the training guild safe rooms?
Yes, there's still, I don't remember exactly how it is in the first book, but there's like, there's safe rooms.
Okay. You want Mongo to get a little cat-shaped saddle she can sit on? Well, if she's calling it her royal steed, and we know that Mongo is going to get significantly larger as he levels, I assume that she's definitely going to find a way to ride Mongo. She doesn't want to get her paws dirty anyway. So, for sure, like, whether she has a saddle or not, I think she's definitely going to be riding Mongo into battle.
There's some really cute
pictures
great of Mongo with the little saddle and.
No, okay, there we go. So really cute. Perfect.
So
I have to try to avoid there's so many spoilers because the series goes so much further than where we're at. So thank you for the follow. But yeah, very interesting.
Mongo's like growing is a very funny part of the series. It's like with Donut.
That makes sense because Mongo right now is like a pink chicken. You know, like Mongo to me is like my little chimkins, my guar in ESO currently.
That's exactly what I pictured him. When I met him, I was like, he's the baby guar.
Little chimkins. That's 100% like this little guy. Put it in chat, but yes. So he's my little Eerie Violet Bantam guar right now, but will become Vicious Murder Machine, Velociraptor. So I'm curious as Mongo gets larger and starts to level and becomes adult Mongo, if Mongo is still going to have these goofy character quirks like the chomping on Donut's nose and things like that. Like, is Mongo going to grow out of that and become, murder Mongo? Or is Mongo always going to be kind of goofy, but then just have wildly powerful talons and teeth and hunting skills and all these kinds of things? So I hope Mongo stays goofy because it's going to be far more entertaining. And I think it's a good yin and yang to Carl's like seriousness in the situation. The same as how Donut's, the lighthearted moment, even when shit is serious, like she's kind of the comedic balance. Yeah. So
it is a good balance. They complement each other.
Yeah, I think they do too. And even though like just through book 1 we haven't seen a ton of evolution, I can see all of the opportunities for those characters to grow and evolve. Like knowing that this is already an 8-book series, it will be 9, and the 9th book is going to be split into 2 parts. Like there's so much room for things to happen that like people wouldn't be such fervent fans of this series if those characters didn't evolve. Like if Carl was always Carl and he never decronkified himself, then I don't think as many people would be such big fans of this series. So I'm really curious to see where that's going to evolve. Also, I have roughly 3 weeks until I leave for San Diego Comic-Con. And I know that there's going to be some Dungen Crawler Carl panels. I don't remember if Matt himself is going to be there, but I am definitely interested in checking out more about DCC while I'm there. There was a lot of it last year, but it was kind of the beginning of the like crawler fever. So there were a lot of people that were like book fans, but I've been seeing a lot more about people that are going to be bringing like their own artist renditions, their own different takes on the series. And I think there's a lot more fan demand this year than even last year. So that's something I'm interested because I'm going to be there in person, and I love connecting with people and talking to them about like all of our different nerd fandoms and stuff like that. I've made so many lifelong friends just standing in line waiting for a panel for some nerd shit at Comic-Con. It's like the perfect soup. So I'm really excited for that. I expect to be through book 2 by the time Comic-Con gets here in a couple of weeks because it's a shorter book. But speaking of,
should we do that as a one-off then? Like read the whole book to discuss?
I was just about to ask. So book 2, it, like I said earlier, is only about 345 pages. So I feel like it's doable and fair if we plan for, if we go back to Saturdays, that would be July 18th would be our next episode, session, whatever we want to call it. But I think shooting for the 18th to have book 2 done, since it's so short, would be good. So I will.
It's doable for me.
Yeah, I will post that in the book club channel and get folks' feedback. But I think that's doable based on the pace that we're kind of trying to set. So we'll just adjust it as needed for the size of the later books. I think they'll probably get booked. Adge. Nobody asked you, Adge. Adge should join the Discord just to shit talk the series so that we can bully him, because I get no greater joy than bullying Adge. So
well, I think it'll be interesting, like when we're done with the series, if Adge just wants to like join a discussion one day and like discuss why.
I had an offline conversation with Adge about his feelings toward the series, and he was verbose to say the least. He's got opinions. Here's my question, Adge. So for anybody that doesn't know, how I know Adge is through St. Jude, with the St. Jude Summit. So we both do fundraising every year. And Adge, I'm the same way, Adge. Like if I got anything in this world, it's opinions, 100%. So Adge actually has some St. Jude tattoos based on some of his fundraising goals in the past. And now I'm curious, how much money would you need to raise for St. Jude to get a Princess Donut tattoo, Adge? I'm not saying, I'm just saying, like, just for funsies. Ho, ho, holy shit. I love it. I love challenging this community to raise even more money for a fantastic cause. So you got a cool Millie? Oh, you really hate this book series, don't you? You don't want a Princess Donut tattoo? What about Princess Donut on Mongo? Like, it'd be great. It'd be so fun. In your bones. He's so spicy. He hates it. I think that some of the things that Adge dislikes about this series, that if he had stuck with it further, he would be able to overcome those things. But there are other structural things about the series that I think is just not his cup of tea. So he's a little bit of a mixed bag here. I know you hate Donut, which is blasphemy. and you can get out.
Is there anything that happened in book 1 specifically that you hate, Adge?
He really doesn't like
Yeah,
Donut.
did you like?
And he really didn't care for like Carl through book 1, but like I was saying earlier, like I think Carl's going to evolve a lot. She's so annoying.
Was there like a turning point?
But that's her charm. I forget, Adge, how far did you get? You got through the 3rd book before you gave up?
Oh, you didn't even scratch the surface.
Oh, he got through the second book. He didn't even start the
no.
3rd book. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he went far enough, but I get it. Like, some people, that's a lot of commitment. They're like, I read 2 books and I'm still not into this. Like, there's no reason for me to keep going. So, yeah. You only read 1/4 of the whole series. You don't know anything. No, a lot of people have said like the first 3 books is all world building, and it really doesn't kick off until the 4th book. I have been told that by literal dozens of people, and that's a commitment to ask. You know, if the style of writing and the world itself is not interesting enough for you to want to keep going at that point, and in Adge's see, here come all the caps. In Adge's opinion, if it's actively irritating you, then like I get it. What was I forget, Adge, though, you had told me, was it Dresden Files was the other series you said that like you actually really liked, though? Just wait for season 4, man. They really find their footing. No, I get it. See, I'm too used to watching anime where it takes 65 episodes to actually get started. With like a decent story. So, that's my own, you know, I think I'm a glutton for punishment in that way. There's too many. I mean, One Piece doesn't even really get good until like 150 episodes in. You'll know what about episode 20 if you're like here for it or not, but it really doesn't like hit high gear until you're well over 100 episodes in. Yeah,
I don't think I'd ever tough it out. Like, you know,
it's a lot.
Like to start something, a series, a TV show. I could never like, you know, oh, like I'll have to tough it out. Like, you know, first 2 seasons in order for it to get good.
Yeah,
I need to be like intrigued. Like, you know, people need to tell me about it, and if I'm intrigued, you know, I'll start watching it. If I like it, I'll stick with it. If not, no, I don't think I'd ever.
And fair enough for, you know, with the book series too. Like if Adge is like, I don't like it, then you don't like it. But apparently we have to raise $1 million for St. Jude for him to get a Princess Donut tattoo.
Let's do it.
Goals.
New goal.
Yes, goals. He found 0 enjoyment. Yeah, if you found that little enjoyment, then, you know.
Psychic damage. Oh my God.
Adge is so spicy. Adge is gonna have to join us for like once we get past the crawler series for future books, I think. We got a ways to go before it's time to start thinking about what's the next thing we're going to read. But
did we ever brainstorm on a book club name?
So
that's still something in the works.
That was also on my list. Avron and I were chatting, and Kotsuki, was it you that came up with Critical Read?
I did, yeah.
So that's my favorite so far. I thought Critical Read was just dirty enough. I didn't want anything that was Dungen Crawler Carl specific because I want this to be something that we do for a long time and expands beyond just that book series. She put a couple other recommendations in the channel, and obviously if anybody else has any names that they think would be a great name for our book club, please let me know. But right now I'm leaning toward Critical Read. I liked that. I thought that was fun. And once we...
I also like Backlog Book Club.
Backlog Book Club?
Yeah. I like the sound of it. And it's like, you know, it's true. Like I have a backlog of books I've been meaning to read.
It's like your Steam library. Here's all these games I'm never going to play. Exactly. The other thing to keep in mind is that part of the conversation I'm having with Avron, because if anybody knows Avron, Avron Doodles. She's an artist. And I want her to design a logo for us for the book club. So that was another reason that I was kind of leaning toward Critical Read, because I think it would be something that is easier to visualize in a specific style that would be something cool that I can use like on these YouTube videos or like on socials when we're talking about the book series. So, but that's just my opinion. So I'll probably put a couple more options in the channel. So everybody that's in the book club channel, please, chime in, let me know if you like the names that we're thinking about, if you've got a name of your own. And then maybe by the next session on the 18th, we'll have an identity and we'll have a name, and then we can start to put a little more structure around book club. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I think we're going to shoot for the 18th for the next session. I'll put all that in the book club channel as well. So for anybody that wasn't able to join us live today, the recording will go up on YouTube by tomorrow. So if anybody wants to go back and watch this, if you missed, the first part of it, you can do that as well. And then we will, Bastion, I need a name. I'm going to age myself again with that very, very old reference. Do either of you even know what that's from?
No.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
I said, Bastion, I need a name. And it's from Neverending Story. So I will
have heard
see
of it.
myself out.
No, I remember watching bits of that when I was
I'm too old for this shit. God.
That's the one with like the dinosaur thing that's like furry.
Yeah, the white dragon.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know of it.
The furry dragon dog thing.
Yes.
Oh, you ever heard of the band Atreyu?
No.
Well, that was the horse's name that very tragically died and scarred very many children's childhoods.
Spoiler.
It's the horse's name.
Spoiler.
That's where the band. Spoiler for this 40-year-old movie. Fuck you guys. Now I'm drawing a blank though, and I can't think of the dragon dog's name. And it's like right on the tip of my tongue too. Falcor. Thank you. It's Falcon something. Hi, Sedans. Yeah, Falcor.
He has red eyes. He looks kind of menacing.
He's like an albino version of Clifford the Big Red Dog, but a dragon. He has like a dog face. So
yes,
I love Falcor. Oh, Neverending Story is so good. It's a classic. Me pulling out two old ass references though, a Labyrinth reference and a Neverending Story reference in the same hour and a half is just really showing my age.
To be fair, those are kind of classics.
Adge, we're old, so
True.
We're just gonna have to accept our fate, I think. Aging myself here. I guess that's the only pro to being an elder millennial is apparently we look younger than our actual ages. So I'll take that until I don't. So son of a yeah, exactly. Now I just have the theme song stuck in my head. I'm like, Never-Ending Story. Newfound Glory did a cover of that. It's fantastic. So not saying, just saying. Yeah. Well, we're like right at an hour and a half, and I think we've talked about everything there is to talk about in the second half of the first book. So for myself, I'm still very much enjoying the books and looking forward to the next one. Adge joined the Discord so we can bully him. Yay! All right, Adge is going to join the book club just so that we can be mean to him. Perfect. That's great. I love it. But yes, anybody that would like to join us for the rest of the series as we go on, please just type !book club in chat. It'll give you the link to join the Discord. There's a dedicated channel and role for book club specifically, if that's all you care about. If you don't care about like the gaming stuff that I'm doing on Twitch and all of that as well. Like I said, I will have this uploaded probably tomorrow, if not later tonight, on YouTube. And we are shooting for July 18th for our next session to go over, we're going to go over all of book 2 because book 2 is pretty short. So I'll get all that updated in the Discord as well. That is where I'm going to wrap this stream. And I'm probably going to take about a 30-minute break, and then I'll be back at 5 o'clock Pacific to start stream. And we are going to be doing more Elden Ring tonight because I figured out how to get co-op working. So I think Stellar and Sedans are going to join me, and I'm going to die
leveling up my
so many times.
I'm so excited.
I'm surprised that you decided to start a new character instead of just copying your save file, but
I didn't want to risk it. I'm not really tech savvy, so I was worried I was going to like corrupt my files,
That's
saves. And then I like leveling characters. I like making new characters. I really like that, like the beginning of the game. So it was fun. So.
I have a really bad habit of like restarting games just to like do the initial leveling and then abandoning the game. Like I have restarted Skyrim so many times just to go through like the first, couple of main quests and stories. And then I'm just like, oh, shiny. And then I go do something else.
It's like you kind of have to though, because sometimes you just forget where you are with like old characters.
Big time.
And then you want to like get into it, but then you kind of
for sure
fall out of it. So I understand.
One of these days I'll figure out how to actually edit these VODs so I can take all the non-book club stuff out. I don't know how to edit those, so you're stuck with this. But
I mean, cool. I feel like people wouldn't mind the full thing, but I don't know.
These are our people. These are our nerds. So one of us.
Exactly.
Well, perfect. So cool. I'm gonna jump out of chat. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. Probably rate out to somebody here in just a moment, and then I will see you all in about 30 minutes for a regular stream. So go take a break, get a stretch, grab a snack, and we'll talk more Dungeon Crawler Carl in 2 weeks. See you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good one.